Hey everyone, this is David George. I am coming at you live from Windsor's riverfront. It's Saturday, December 21st, around, let's see what we got here, 5:30 p.m. It looks pretty dark. And it's about -6, so it's biting cold. Hopefully my leather gloves are strong enough. So for this live stream, I'm going to talk about things I like about Windsor. And let's see here. Let me just check my other cell phone here. Okay. So behind me is Caesars. And actually, let's do it like this. So you can see the Ren Center over there. So yeah, here's the Ren Center over there in beautiful downtown Detroit. So let's see here. Let's see, this is Windsor again. So the first thing I like about Windsor is this beautiful riverfront that you see next to me that we're walking by. And it overlooks downtown Detroit. And one of the things about the riverfront I like, here I got to get this adjusted a little bit better, is the Windsor Sculpture Park. So outside, and this is further west by the Ambassador Bridge, you have 35 outside sculptures. When it used to be called the Odette Sculpture Park, but for some reason they took away the name, so now it's just the Windsor Sculpture Park. And if you come from May till September, they have these free art car tours, which will give you a guided tour of the sculpture park, which is a pretty nice feature. So if you're ever down here during those times, you can check it out. Just look at the city's website for the best time. And another cool feature, you can see artwork indoors at the Windsor Art Gallery. And it's more of a contemporary Canadian art gallery. I don't see like historical masterpieces like you see on the other side of the river in the Detroit Institute of the Arts. Like the Detroit Institute of the Arts, that's like a world-class museum. This is just a regular art gallery, but it's still worth checking out. And behind it, you have the Windsor Aquatic Center, which is a 35,000 square foot indoor park with 5 water slides. And it has an indoor wave pool and a lazy river and like a little surfing machine you can get on there on the water. So, let's see. Another thing I like is they have a huge boating community in Windsor. So in the summer, you have lots of options. You can rent a Sea-Doo. I did a video like the top 42 things to do in Windsor, where I explored different booths in Devonshire Mall. And there was one rental place that rented Sea-Doos in Bell River. And they also rented boats so you can do different things along the Detroit River. But if you have your own boat, that's even better, because there are so many activities for boaters in this city. And they also share it with Michigan. So like if you have a membership in LaSalle, it doesn't cost that much for like the SunPower Boat Club. Then you can go and visit a lot of different boat clubs in Michigan that are affiliated to that. So you can go to like the Great Lakes Steel Boat Club, which is along the Detroit River, check out the restaurant, and then head back for the afternoon. And there's many others, like there's about, in the Associated Yacht Club, there's about 32, I believe, different boating clubs that you can check out on Lake Erie. You can also take the boat to Cedar Point Amusement Park and spend the weekend there. They have docks for your boat. So there's a lot of different things you can do with boat if you're ever down here. And boy, it's cold. Hard to even talk now. I don't think I dressed up really well for this. I may have to do it again when it's warmer. So a third thing that I like about Windsor is Windsor has incredible history. Like this is a city that's like 3 centuries old. And the area was founded in 1701 when Mr. Cadillac landed in Detroit, which is right across the river from here. And they settled the area with about 1,000 Frenchmen. No, it was about 100 Frenchmen. And they built these key farms, which is like 100 feet wide by like a kilometer back along the Detroit River. And then they did it on the Windsor side and developed the Windsor side. So from that, you have a lot of history. There's a lot of historical buildings. I've done videos on some of them. If you check out my homepage, I have a video on like the Francois Bobby House, which is located in downtown. It was around during the War of 1812. And currently it's the Windsor Community Museum, and it's usually open most days of the week. You could check it out. Another nice historical building to check out is a Duff Bobby House, and I did a video on that if you check out my homepage. And the Duff Bobby House was built, I believe, in 1797, and it has a lot of significant historical value. You had President of the United States when he was a general, General Harrison, stayed there. You had the generals on the Canadian side during the War of 1812 stay there. So it's very significant, and they also say it's like the oldest mansion west of Toronto in southwestern Ontario, which is another good point. So if you're ever down in Windsor, it's definitely worth checking out. And other cool historical things worth checking out, it's like Willisted Manor when they're open. So Willisted Manor was a 32-room mansion that was built by Edward, which was the son of Hiram Walker, who founded the whiskey distillery in Walkerville. And Walkerville is like this planned city that was built by Hiram Walker. And it's really, really interesting because he had a lot of guidelines on how you wanted the houses. So you have a lot of really nice historical houses there, and a lot of interesting architecture as well. And he kept it like that. So It's not like a lot of areas in other areas of Windsor, we have a lot of stuccoed houses or houses that got ruined or cheaply built houses. It's really worth seeing. Or you can see Williston Manor. And Williston Manor takes up a whole block, and the family donated it to the city of Windsor, so it's just like a park, a big gated park that's open, so you can walk inside and just walk around the park. And then on certain days, you can pay an admission and go through Williston Manor, which is another cool thing. Now, if you're down there, I recommend you also check out the Canada Club Brand Center. This was built, I think, in like 1897, and you can try out some gangster whiskey. So during Prohibition in the United States, Hiram Walker and Sons, they exported a lot of whiskey to Chicago, and there was a big element with Al Capone there and a lot of those gangsters over this whiskey that was made in Windsor, Ontario, which was Walkerville back then. Now it's a neighborhood of Windsor, and shipped to Chicago. So some of the other things you might want to check out is maybe go for a bike ride. So from the Ambassador Bridge all the way down to Hiram Walker's distillery, it's the Roy Battagio Riverfront Trails, I believe it's called. And it's a bike trail. So you can take the bike 8 kilometers from the Ambassador Bridge all the way down to Hiram Walker's. And along the way, there's different kinds of trails you can explore as well. Like there's Gateway Park, that's between Wellington and, oh, I forget the name of the other street. Could it be? No, I'm not sure, but it's next to Wellington. Okay, I think it's Wellington and Cameron. I'm not positive about that, but there's Gateway Park. So Gateway Park runs from Wyandotte all the way to the riverfront. And what it is, it's like a park that's on top of the railway tunnel. So Windsor has a huge, like, railway tunnel cargo line that goes under the Detroit River. And underneath this park is that big strip where they turned it, where there's railway tracks running and cargo trains go through. And it ends up at Michigan Central Station, which used to be a passenger terminal. And now it's, they kept the railway lines there, so it's just cargo lines going from Detroit to Windsor. And Michigan Central Station was turned into the Ford AI self-driving center. And they did a fantastic job of restoring the old Michigan Central Station, because before that, it was just a vacant building, and it was like vacant for decades, and it received a lot of vandalism. So shout out for them restoring it, because it's a beautiful building. They spent the money to import the correct limestone and everything to make the interior absolutely beautiful. So if you're ever down here, it is bike friendly here. And if you don't have your own bike, you can also rent a bike for the day. So that's worth checking out if you come down to Windsor. What do we, so, dang it, I think it's a cold. So another cool thing to check out if you're ever down in Windsor that I like is Windsor has a lot of unique festivals that you don't see in other cities this size. So we have the Detroit Windsor International Fireworks, which is like a multi-billion-dollar firework display. That's last year. It was funded by the Ford family. And I did a video of that on my homepage if you want to see what one of them looks like. I think that one was from 2 years ago. And another cool festival to check out is Carousel of the Nations. I did a video of that, and it's where you have a bunch of different ethnic centers all across Windsor during Carousel of Nations, like 2 weekends, and you can try out like ethnic foods and other things in the different cultural centers, like the Polish Center, or the Polish Hall, or the Polish Beach Club. They also have Little Italy, which is several blocks, and that's a pretty nice place to visit during Carousel. And I believe the streets are closed off during that time when there's a festival, which is pretty good. So yeah, it's getting dark here. It should be lit better. Maybe we can turn this around here, get some more light in this camera. So, hey, you know what? I'll offer you more of a view of the Detroit River. See if that works, or okay, we'll just keep walking and see if I get some more light on my face as I'm walking here. So another thing I love about Windsor is all the parks, especially along the riverfront. But there's also a park up by Tecumseh Road in Olette, which is Jackson Park. And right now, if you were to come down here, they have a Bright Lights Festival going on in Jackson Park. And they have also live bands there, like Fridays and Saturdays, and they have a bunch of different booths you can check out. So I'd recommend going there. And like something you can do after is like on the other side of Jackson Park, you go past the railway tracks, and there's like the Big Time Entertainment, which is like an indoor, like a small indoor amusement park almost. So they have like arcade machines, and you can play skee ball and other things. And they also have like indoor mini golf and go-karts and a laser tag and a lot of things. One thing I like is like the Avengers push coin game, where you pay for these tokens. I think if you go on the half price Wednesdays, you get like, for 5 credits, you get 12 tokens, and you just shoot it down a slide and try to get it in that hole where there's the Ferris wheel. And if you get it through there, then you get a bunch of coins that fall down and push the coins forward, and you have game cards on top of those coins. So you collect the game cards and you get tickets, and you can trade them for prizes. So that's pretty cool. I got pretty much most of those game cards. Out of the Avenger game cards, I got 8 out of 9. The only one I'm missing is Thanos, so I got a nice stack. So if you ever see me and you got the Thanos card, I'd love to trade it with somebody so I can finish my set of 9 cards. So other things I like about Windsor is we have a beach. So there's Sandpoint Beach up in East Windsor, and it's right by Lakeview Marina. So usually it's open during the summer. Sometimes there's like an E. coli warning and they close the beach off, but most of the times it's open. And you also have a lot of nice beaches in the county. And places like Harrow, they have like volleyball courts set up, so you can go there, play volleyball at the beach, which is a nice feature. And what else we got here? There's also lots of online walking tours you can check out from the City of Windsor website. So they got like a Walkerville walking tour. So you get a better description of different houses there. They got the Ford City walking tour. So Windsor's kind of unique that they have these little different neighborhoods that build on the history of Windsor. So you have the Walkerville. Harem Walkers built their own little town there called Walkerville. That's now a neighborhood of Windsor. Then you have Ford City, which is like a planned city by the Ford Motor Company. And between Drouillard, Riverside, and the riverfront used to be a Ford auto assembly plant. It was later torn down, but they still have the Windsor engine plant in Windsor, in Ford City. So it's an interesting feature. There's also the Windsor Essex engine plant up by EC Row. So that's a cool thing to check out if you're down here. And we also have like a giveaway nature park. It's like an 865-acre park broken off into 5 different sections that you could be at one with nature. You can explore different like endangered species. There's certain kinds of lizards and snakes, I believe, that live there, which is worth checking out. And you also have golf courses in Windsor. Like there's a city-owned one, which is the Roseland Golf Course up in South Windsor. And it's like $29 for 9-hole or $50 for a 18-hole. You also have the Ambassador Golf Course, and that's open to the public as well. And then in the county, you have a whole bunch of other golf courses. So if you like golf, yeah, Windsor's your place. Nice place to visit for the weekend. Play some golf. What else do we have here? Okay, another thing you can do is go shopping in Windsor. We have, in downtown, we have like a cigar shop that sells Cuban cigars. Can't buy them in the United States, so if you come down here, you can check that out. You also have the Windsor Outlet Shopping Mall here on Church, and Devonshire Mall, which is the largest mall in Windsor. And I did a video on that, what it looks like inside, in my top 42 things to do in Windsor video, which is on my homepage, so you can check that out. I got a lot of interesting things on my homepage there. I also have a tour of the Windsor Heritage, it's a Windsor Aircraft Museum up by the Windsor Airport. So let's press this button here to cross the street. So there's some really good history related to that, because in World War II, it was run by an instructor who was named Billy Bishop, who was a World War I flying ace, and he taught there. So it makes it really relevant, and they still have the original hangar there from World War II that trained pilots. And I think Billy Bishop, during World War I, he shot down, I think, 72 German aircraft, which is quite an accomplishment for a pilot. And if you go there, like I show in my videos, they're restoring a lot of old planes as well, like the Lancaster bomber that was in Jackson Park on 2 pedestals. Now, if you go to Jackson Park, you can see a World War II Spitfire and Hurricane on pedestals, which is a pretty interesting thing to check out if you're ever down in Windsor. So, a lot of nice things to see in Windsor. So, what do you think of this city? Like, I'd like to know, what are your favorite things to check out when you're down in Windsor? If you've been here before, or if you've heard of the place, because there's a lot of nice history here, and it's worth checking out. So, if you're on the live stream, feel free to talk, send a message, ask me anything about Windsor. Because I spent years here, so I know a lot about it, and I've done a lot of videos with walking tours on the city. So let's do a forward view, what it looks like. There we go. So that there is downtown Detroit at night. There's the Ambassador Bridge way down there, and I believe those are the Riverfront Towers. So this here is Windsor Art Gallery, and right behind it is the Windsor Aquatic Center. So that's the indoor water park with the 5 indoor water slides and the wave pool. So it's definitely worth checking out. So coming up is a few hotels and St. Clair College, which is on the main floor. So get some more views of downtown Detroit, all lit up at night. So I'll be heading back to Caesars Windsor, check it out. And I think I mentioned before, it was a 750 room casino resort, and they had a 5,000 seat Coliseum with world-renowned singers and comedians and others. So certainly worth keeping an eye on if you see something you'd like to get a ticket for. As well, we have 3 casinos in downtown Detroit. So if the one in Windsor isn't enough for you, you can check out the one in downtown Detroit. We also have a nice nightclub there in Caesars Windsor called Arius Nightclub. And they got a couple restaurants. So you may want to, when you're down there, explore casino, and then you can come around downtown and see what else is going on at night. Doesn't look like there's a lot of pedestrian traffic out tonight because of the -6 degrees Celsius weather. But during the summer, yeah, when it's warmer, a lot more people at least. And like right now, we're in front of St. Clair College Center for the Arts. So yeah, this is an area you'd see a lot more people out at night if it was warmer. Looks like someone's all dressed up there for an event. Here's another nice view of downtown Detroit at night. So, yeah, over there is a Ren Center, and there's been a lot of controversy over that structure because they've been talking about demolishing it. And I think the Ren Center is iconic to downtown Detroit, just like the Eiffel Tower is iconic to Paris, or the Empire State Building is iconic to New York City. Now, how can you demolish that building ahead of us? It's probably like one of the most beautiful buildings in downtown. And it was built by a world-renowned architect named John Portman. And he also built the Bonaventure Center in downtown LA, which is kind of like the Ren Center, but the 5 buildings are the same height and they're all cylindrical. Whereas here you have like four rectangular buildings with the cylindrical Marriott Hotel in the center. You know, it reminds me a lot like a castle, like how you have your traditional castle with the 4 towers, one on each corner. Yeah, I can't believe they want to touch that building. It's such a beautiful building. And for downtown Detroit, they need more density anyways in their downtown. So shouldn't be tearing down something like that. So in front of me is a keg, and they have like these propane flames outside. It's a lot nicer to visit while here during the summer, so it's where it's not that cold. But it is what it is. So this here is the Chrysler Building, and it's supposed to be the Canadian head offices for Chrysler. So, have another look here. Yeah. Downtown Detroit. So coming up is Olette Avenue. Street next to us is Riverside Drive. So Olette Avenue is where most of your nightclubs are going to be in downtown. So we'll have a look at the street here. So feel free to say hi in the chat if you want. We're live. And if you have a question about Windsor, feel free to ask. No problem talking about it. What's coming up is the Holiday Express. Yeah, I just love Detroit Riverfront. Okay, let's adjust camera here. A lot of new developments in downtown Detroit too. They have completely redeveloped their waterfront, so you have tons of park. And I think So Detroit, downtown Detroit is north, and so to the east of it, I believe that's a Milliken Park or Milliken Riverfront Park, and then it goes further down, and you hit Belle Isle there. Belle Isle is a pretty interesting island to check out. They have like a century-old aquarium with the tiled vaulted ceilings, which is worth checking out. But if you're ever planning to visit Belle Isle, just remember that there's a fee to cross the bridge with your car, but you can walk across or take a bike for free. And another interesting thing is if you come down to Windsor, you can take the tunnel bus for, I believe, like $7.50, and the tunnel bus from downtown Windsor will take you to downtown Detroit. And it runs about every half hour, and it's a lot more convenient than taking your car because parking is really expensive in downtown Detroit. I've seen like signs that say like $50 a day for parking in downtown Detroit. So you just want to go there and you're from Canada, just park your car in Windsor and then go down there. So this building next to us is the Lagoyo building, built in the 1960s. It's a residential complex. Then you have the Raymond Damaris building there, where they redid their facade with stucco, like they put styrofoam on there and stucco. It's a geared-to-income complex. And behind it is the Coliseum for Caesars Windsor, which is a 5,000 seat Coliseum. And you have two big towers for Caesars Windsor Resort. Here's another view of downtown Detroit again. Just love how it's all lit up tonight. So to the left of us there, that's Festival Plaza, and they hold all kinds of events there. And during Carousel of the Nations, they have a midway ride there, or like a little amusement park with a carousel and a bunch of different amusement rides. I think the company that runs it was called the World's Finest Museum, World's Finest Midway Ride or something. But it's really nice. There was also a city council who had proposed putting a permanent carousel in Festival Plaza, which would be a nice feature, but yeah, it never really got support of the rest of the councils. So it's too bad, but what can you do? Yeah, thanks for the comment. So here's another view of Caesars Windsor. Right, got it up. Yeah, it's getting cold, so I'm gonna end this live stream. So if you liked it, please click like and subscribe, and leave a comment below if you'd like me to do other tours of the city, or you have any questions about Windsor, and hopefully I can answer. So that will conclude our stream, and I will see you in the next video.